The role of women in societies have evolved over the decades. Many women are now educated and lesser women are now stay-at-home wives. But the issue of gender inequality cannot be overemphasized. Lesser than 500 women still occupy CEO positions even when they are up to the task. This is AFRIWOMAN on iBrandTV. I am Margaret Opara. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we have a guest who will be dissecting this topic with us on the show, so stay with us. Joining us now from the UK, we have Tobore Ann Emokpo, founder of the Nigerian Child Protection Fund, calling for the end of child abuse in Nigeria. Tobore also holds a master's degree in pharmacy. Hello, Tobore. Thank you for being on the show.
Hello, Margaret. Thank you very much for having me on the show today.
Now, firstly, let's hear your thoughts on female subjugation in workplace. Do you believe it still exists?
Yes, I do believe that female subjugation still takes place in the workplace today. It is very obvious with the gender pay gap, where you have a man and a woman who are carrying out the same role with the same responsibilities, but the man gets paid more than the woman. This is very unfair. If you're carrying out a certain role, you should both earn the same amount of money. This is also seen where some women have reported that once they find out they're pregnant, their bosses tell them to leave the organization. This is really unfair. The women should be given an opportunity to have some time off and return to the workplace at the end of their maternity leave. Also, you have the cases of where, when it comes to promotion, most men are promoted over their female counterparts. You also find out that more men are made partners in organizations over women. And you find out that sometimes the men leave the women out of social gatherings, or they go play golf together, or they go to the bar after work, thereby leaving out their female colleagues. They should really look at doing things where both sexes can come together and bond after work rather than leaving out a certain gender.
Do you think it's proper for women to be paid lesser than men for doing the same job simply because they have career breaks like maternity leave and all of that?
I do believe that men and women who do the exact same role should be given the same pay. They have the same roles, they have the same responsibilities, they should be paid the same as human beings. It's a human being carrying out this role, they should be paid for the role that they are carrying out. Just because the woman goes on a career break does not take away from the fact that she works hard while she's in the role. And it is a known fact that women work twice as hard just to prove that they're good enough for the role. So paying the woman any less, it's not right. And when the women go on a career break, it's a good opportunity for the society as well as the company, because in that period, say 6 months or a year, in that 1 year, you can get someone from outside to have a job for that period. So you advertise the job externally, someone applies, and you give someone an opportunity to work for a year. It is something to that person. And also, as a company, if you, instead of advertising externally, you could advertise internally and get someone internal to cover that role. And you find out that you're upskilling that person and you're giving them opportunities as well to grow within the organization, which is a positive thing. And I think it's important that women's jobs are preserved when and if they decide to come back into that position. The jobs should be made available to them. I believe that pregnancy should not be something that you discriminate against in the workplace.
All right, thank you for that reply. Now, there's an average 10% pay gap between men and women in full-time jobs. Do you think it's right, and how do you feel about this pay gap?
I do believe that it's wrong for there to be a gender pay gap between men and women, and I feel like that should be closed. For carrying out a role, a person should be paid, remunerated the wages for carrying out that role, regardless of their sex. And I feel like we need to keep talking about it, we need to keep pushing it, we need to keep pushing laws that protect women in the workplace so that this gender pay gap can be closed. And we need to keep talking about it. We must keep talking about it till something is done about it.
Now, how do you think these inequalities could be improved?
This gender pay gap can be closed by a few different things. First of all, we can have more flexibility in the workplace. People should be able to work from home. With the coronavirus, we have seen that more people have had to work from home. And most employers have seen that even though their employees are working from home, they're still delivering. They're even doing more because they just want to prove that being at home does not mean they're sleeping all day in bed. They are actually doing work. So employers can see that output has been really high even during this coronavirus period. So I believe that employers should be more flexible with their women. People should be able to work from home. There should be shared parental leave between men and women. So not just the women having maternity leave, fathers as well should have some time off to also bond with their children. We can also help reduce the gender pay gap by having more transparency in promotion. So when people are being promoted, talk more about it, be open about what the new salaries will be, and make sure that everyone is given the same information.
All right, so before we go, now what's your parting shots on this topic generally?
We need to bring an end to the gender pay gap and subjugation of females in the workplace. I'd like to speak to our lawmakers, ask them to please put in laws that protect our women, pregnant women, people with disabilities, women with disabilities. Protect them from being bullied, being harassed, and being fired. To the law courts, please, to the employment tribunals and the law courts, please make sure that when cases are brought forward, they are dealt with quickly and precisely, so that employers do not feel like they can act as they like and get away with it. Do what is wrong in the eyes of the law and get away with it. And we'll just keep speaking, we'll keep talking, and we'll keep hoping that there will be positive changes in our society.
Thank you so much, Tobewe, for being on the show. Thank you for all the replies you gave. We hope to have more of you on our segments.
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
All right, that's bringing us to the end of this topic, female subjugation in workplace. Join us next time as we dissect more on the topic of female subjugation in Africa. I am Margaret Opara, and thanks for watching.